Hey y'all, today's video is a fun collab talking about curriculum challenges and curriculum wins. Let's get into it. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Kayla Betez, a second generation homeschool mom to two girls in Texas, and this is Ode to Abode, a place where I love to share about home education, homemaking, and parenthood. If you love those things too, I hope you'll consider clicking that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can be one of the first to know when I make a new video. Today's video is a collab with Lindsay over at Love Them Well and Jasmine over at One Caffeinated Mom, and we're talking about our curriculum challenges and our curriculum wins. Funny enough, for me, and maybe for some of you, what you expect to be a challenge ends up not being a challenge, and what you expect to be your easy subject or your easy aspect of your homeschool ends up being more challenging. This has definitely been true for me personally. I came to homeschooling curriculum with this preconceived idea that we were going to have struggles with math. Why? Because I had struggles with math. So I assumed that since I've struggled with math, that math was going to be my least favorite part of homeschool. It was going to be a struggle for my kids, and that I was going to have to really work hard to find a curriculum that would teach math in a way that was engaging or interesting. And that couldn't have been further from the truth. Math is actually one aspect of our homeschool that works really beautifully, and it's one of our favorite things that we do in our homeschool. On the flip side of that, I have always loved anything related to language arts, and so I assumed that things like reading, grammar, writing, spelling, all these things that I've always really thrived at, that those would be really easy aspects of our curriculum and of our homeschool. And that also has not been true. It has been a real challenge to find curriculum for literature, for reading, for writing that's really engaging and fun, because those subjects are not something that my oldest daughter is naturally drawn to. I was very excited that I found Blossom and Root. Blossom and Root is this amazing curriculum. It's secular, it's literature based, it has lots of multi-sensory hands-on components, and I was thrilled when I found it. I thought, this is going to be it. This is going to be our curriculum for all subjects except math, because Blossom and Root doesn't offer math. But this was going to be it. It seemed like a perfect fit. My two girls and I did end up loving Blossom and Root for science and for nature study, but my first grader did not like the language arts part of Blossom and Root at all. The way that it's designed is it was all literature based. So you'd read a story and then you would do activities based on that story. And so some of those activities would be like hands-on play ideas, or like Waldorf inspired reenactments of the story. And then there would be copy work or narration. There would be word lists each week, and all of the vocabulary words were based on that story that you read. Well, within the first few weeks of using this program, my 7-year-old was not interested in any of the literature that had been selected. And I kept skipping ahead thinking, well, maybe she'll like this book. Maybe she'll like this story. For the first grade level, a lot of it was like animal fables and fairy tales, stuff that most kids really enjoy at that age and at that grade level. But my daughter was not interested in any of it at all. Pretty quickly, I realized that there was no way we could be successful using a language arts program that's entirely based on this literature that my daughter doesn't find engaging, doesn't find interesting, isn't excited about. So I had to just let it go completely. We still love Blossom and Root, we still use it for science, but for language arts, it did not work for us. What I have learned about my daughter during this process is that she is a very analytical person. The reason that she loves math is because she can kind of figure it out. There's set rules and there's only one right answer. She really likes to be able to figure something out, almost like a puzzle, and figure out the answer. And with language arts, she would have questions like, why is this word spelled this way when it rhymes with this other word that's spelled completely differently? She would get frustrated if some of the vocabulary words were words that she had never heard of or words that we don't use in our day-to-day life. She was very matter of fact. She wanted to know, what is the point of this? So even though Blossom and Root advertises this like very Waldorf, magical, we're gonna read the story and we're gonna play out the story and it's gonna be lovely, my daughter was not interested in that at all. She was like, why do I have to write all of these words? Why are we reading these boring books? I remember literally Googling one night, language arts program that teaches like Singapore math. That's how desperate I was to try to find something that would click with her for language arts the way that that program clicked with math. So I kind of deconstructed, okay, what does she really love about Singapore math? She loves the hands-on components. She loves the physical activities and games and manipulatives. The other thing that she loves about Singapore math is she loves the characters that follow her along through this math journey, and that it's very practical, it's very realistic. She doesn't really love stories that seem overly silly or fantastical. She will constantly be questioning, like, well, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't sound like something that would really happen. So I needed something that was a little bit more grounded and logical in the way that it was approaching language arts. I also started realizing that her reading skills weren't really progressing the way that I would have liked to see them progress. It actually seemed like she was regressing a little bit with reading for a short time. Even when I dropped the Blossom and Root language arts, I didn't really have anything to fill in right away. And so I would just say, well, let's journal together. Let's write down what you want to write down. Are there any stories that you can come up with? Let's just read books that you enjoy. I was really trying to just get that spark of interest back in stories, in reading, in writing. And some of that did work. She did start to journal and she was really enjoying that. But then she would get frustrated if she didn't know how to spell a word, or she'd get frustrated if she couldn't write a full sentence the way that she wanted it to be. She really wanted to know the rules. She wanted to know the phonics, the grammar rules. Then I needed to start looking at programs that were going to teach all of those rules that she was craving in a very logical and practical way, still have the hands-on activities, the manipulatives that she liked, but were very clear in their teaching and very practical. I ended up deciding to actually break up language arts into its facets rather than try to find an all-encompassing language arts curriculum. There are curriculums that will do literature and reading and spelling and grammar all in one. But for me, if I were to get one of those curriculums, it seemed like I would have to do a lot of tweaking anyway. And so instead of trying to buy an all-encompassing language arts program and having to tweak it along the way or eliminate things or add things, I just decided to try to source curriculum that did one thing and did that one thing really well. So we went with All About Reading for learning phonics, and it was an instant hit with my daughter. It's everything that she loved out of Singapore math, but now it's for reading. It has manipulatives, it's hands-on, it has the fun activities, it's concise, we can do really short lessons, it's very to the point, and it makes sense. It's very logical in the way that it teaches. Because she loved All About Reading so much, I knew right away that I wanted to get All About Spelling, so we started that too. The one other aspect of language arts that I really wanted to add in was more writing practice. And I know that I could come up with my own content for copy work, narration, dictation. We do read a lot of books, so it would just be a matter of me finding an excerpt out of one of the books that we're reading and implementing it that way with copy work or narration. Honestly, I just can't add something else to my list. So that's where Writing with Ease came in. We just recently got it and she is loving it. Her favorite part is that we don't have to read the whole story before she gets to do her copy work and her narration. She loves that it's simple and brief and to the point. What we love about Writing with Ease is that it doesn't require you to read the whole story or reenact the story or have these philosophical discussions about the story that are probably over a 7-year-old's head. It's very to the point. All it's trying to do is get them to practice writing, get them to notice punctuation and grammar, and get them to practice their reading comprehension skills. It's been perfect for us. Having her be excited about reading, writing, phonics, and grammar is such a huge win. And I really feel confident that using All About Reading, All About Spelling, and Writing with Ease will really help her over the long run to transition into more in-depth study of grammar, more in-depth writing, more in-depth ELA study. And I'm not stressing that she doesn't love classic literature right now because that can come later. My main focus right now is that she just enjoys reading. And right now, she is enjoying reading. If you are having a struggle right now with a curriculum, if your kid is just fighting you every step of the way, I want you to know that it is okay to let that curriculum go. It can be hard for us as parents if what we want out of a certain school subject or a certain curriculum isn't really on the same wavelength as what our kid really needs for that subject. We have to meet our kids where they're at and realize that just because a curriculum looks beautiful or works for someone else doesn't mean it's going to be a great fit for you. I'm really confident though that if you keep on searching, if you keep on trying, you will find the right fit. You'll find something that works. There are countless good options and there's definitely a good fit for every family and every individual kid. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy this playlist and find some encouragement from it. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you had a curriculum challenge that you've had to overcome? What curriculum was an instant success and what curriculum did you imagine would be an instant success and was really not? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll consider giving it a thumbs up. Tell your friends about us, and I will see you in the next video.